Hello and welcome to the overview of Pips. This is a 2 to 5 players game where your goal is to complete collections by gathering resources. To accomplish this, each turn you deploy a number of dice totaling a limited number of pips onto the available fields on the table. In your turn, you roll all your available dice, and then select any combination of them that adds to the pip limit shown on your board or less. You then deploy those dice onto the fields to gather resources. Each die you place will give you the type and number of resources shown within the space. For instance, here you get 3 blue resources. White resources are wild and can be used in place of any other resource later on. After deploying all your selected dice, you check if any of the fields are completed. That is, where there's a die covering each of the spaces on the field. For all the completed fields, you must determine which player has the most pips. That player receives the card, worth 1 point at the end of the game, plus 1 resource of the type shown at the back. In case of a tie, the tied player that has a die closest to the top wins the card. All the dice that are on field cards that are not completed remain on the table unavailable to players. Play continues clockwise, each player rolling, selecting, and deploying their dice until the end of the game. At any point during your turn, you may complete a collection of those displayed at the top. Simply discard the resources shown and get the card for points at the end of the game. You may still use white resources in place of any other resource, but if the collection shows a white resource is needed, a white cube must be used to complete the collection. Also, at any point, you may unlock your dice at the hold. To do that, count the type and number of visible spaces on the same column as the die, and discard those resources. White spaces in this case can be completed with any resource type. Place the die with your available dice, and take the leftmost token from your board, flip it and place it on the hold space from which you got the die. This reveals a new larger limit of pips for your future turns, as well as some points that you'll collect at the end of the game. The token placed also creates an extra space on the column. Players that unlock their dice later on from the same column will need to add 1 more resource of the right kind for each token to unlock their die. When almost running out of fields or collection cards, an end-of-game card is revealed, which triggers the end of the game. At this point, players finish the current round, then play another round, and then the game ends. The winner is the player with the most points from cards, from dice collected, and from leftover resources. I hope you enjoyed this overview. Thanks for watching.